Hey Dylan, I'm glad to see you today. Thanks again for completing the assessment the other day. Before we look at any of the numbers of the charts, I just want to talk about you. How did the whole test kind of feel for you? Like, not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally?
Yeah, it was definitely a mix. Some parts felt totally fine, but there were a few tests that really caught me off guard. For example, the bike test, that was harder than I would have expected it to be. And the strength stuff, I kind of realized how long it's been since I've kind of done anything like that.
So it sounds like some parts of the test are manageable and others are maybe a bit challenging. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say that's exactly it. I wasn't discouraged, but just yeah, some of the parts were somewhat difficult.
Yeah, I understand that. Honestly, the assessments are meant to give us information and they're not meant to make you feel discouraged or judged. And today, like between us, just a conversation, right? Like my role is to help you understand like what each test measures, what your numbers mean, and how they connect to your goals that you shared with me, which were lowering your long-term health risk and improving your cardiorespiratory fitness. Before we go any further, how does this approach feel to you?
Uh, Sounds good. Yep.
Okay, so one more thing before we look at your results. I just want to explain the classification system that we use. On the charts, you'll see categories like excellent, very good, good, fair, and poor. And these aren't actually like judgments or labels in any way. They're just descriptions based on large Canadian population data sets for men your age. So when I say something falls in the good range or the poor range, it's literally just where your number sits on a reference line. These categories also help me like communicate clearly with you and track your progress over time. And they also help us connect to the results to your overall goals. Does the clarification help in any way?
Yeah, it makes things a whole lot more clear. I didn't really know what the categories meant, so this helps.
Okay, great. So now we can start with your body measurements. Your height was 164 centimeters, your weight was 90 kilograms, and that gives you a BMI of 33.5. That falls in the high risk category for long-term health concerns like heart disease or type 2 diabetes. Your waist circumference coupled with that was 108 centimeters, which is just beyond the point of increasing the risk category further. And when you put the BMI together with your waist circumference, together they confirm the high risk classification. This ties directly to your main goal. And like, of course, these numbers don't predict your future, but they help us understand why like cardiovascular fitness training can be such a meaningful next step for you. I'm curious, how did like that test feel for you? Or how did collecting that data feel for you? And how does it feel hearing this now?
Yeah, well, I kind of expected it, but hearing it or hearing the actual category name kind of just makes it much more real. With my family history, I feel like if I don't really change something now, then I might end up going down the same path. So it's motivating in a sense.
Yeah, that of course, I'm not happy to hear that, but the motivation is important and it's important for your next steps. So for the next thing is the grip strength, which resulted in a combined score of 103 kilograms, which is classified in the good category for men between 30 and 39. This test gave us a sense of how your hands and forearms function in everyday tasks, like carrying things, holding objects, or opening jars, and also how your body like transfers force during movements. I just wanted to ask, sorry, I wanted to ask, how was that experience like for you? Like, how did you feel during the grip strength test?
I felt okay during the test. I used my hands a lot at work, so squeezing the handle didn't really feel too weird in any way. I didn't really know what a good number was, but the actual movement itself felt pretty natural to me.
Yeah, that's nice to hear that it aligns with tasks you've already been doing in your daily life. Another thing that's important about grip strength is it tends to support lots of other movements too, like pushing, pulling, carrying. So that will connect with your training as you begin your fitness journey, right? So the next is the push-up test. And for the push-ups on this specific day, you weren't able to complete a full repetition. And the classification chart says that anything less than 11 reps is in the poor category. The push-up test looks at your upper body muscular endurance, which is your ability to repeatedly push your body weight. This translates to like getting up off the floor, um, opening heavy doors, or I guess pushing heavy doors and lifting things uh, around the house. So I was going to ask what was going through your head at the beginning of that test.
Honestly, I could tell pretty quickly that I didn't have a lot of endurance in my arms and chest. I don't really do push-ups at all, so my arms gave out right away. And kind of knowing that, it wasn't really too rattling of an experience for me.
Yeah, don't worry about it too much. That can definitely happen with unfamiliar movement patterns. Um, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I just got a phone call. My bad. Sometimes that happens with unfamiliar movement patterns. Yeah, so don't give it too much thought.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
The next test that we can look at is a sit and reach test. You scored 8 centimeters, which is classified as poor for men your age. This measurement tells us about your hamstring and lower back flexibility, and it connects to daily things like bending forward, putting on your shoes, and general mobility. Do you notice any back or hamstring stiffness during your normal daily routine?
Oh yeah, especially when I'm at work for like a long period of time. When I stand up, I can feel the tightness in my back or in the back of my legs. But it doesn't stop me from doing anything. It's just definitely noticeable though.
Yeah, I totally get that. Honestly, it's kind of difficult to keep good posture when you're driving, especially on a long drive. Next, let's look at your vertical jump, where your highest jump was 16 centimeters, which corresponds to a power output of 2,993 watts. And that is in the poor category based on the CSEB health benefits ratings. And it tells us how quickly, well, sorry, uh, sorry, your leg power, yeah, that tells us how quickly your legs can produce force. And that connects to real life things like climbing up the stairs, getting out of a chair, or walking uphill. And when you think about those types of movements, like the climbing up the stairs, or getting getting out of a chair, walking uphill, does anything with those, like your results, connect to how you experience things on your day to day?
Yeah, it does. Stairs are a big effort for me. Sometimes I get halfway up and then I'm already tired, especially if I'm carrying something heavy. And standing up from lower seats can also feel quite difficult, or at least more difficult than it used to. So yeah, the results definitely line up with how my legs feel on a day-to-day basis.
I appreciate you. I appreciate I appreciate you sharing that with me, Dylan. It gives me good context and can be useful for like further prescription for your fitness plans, right? Let's move on to the next test. The next test that we did was the YMCA cycle ergometer test, and your estimated VO2 after doing some calculations was 28.2 milliliters per kilogram per minute. And for men in your age group, 30 to 39, that is classified as poor because it's under 33.7. This number itself helps us understand how well your body can deliver and use oxygen, as well as your heart. And since your main goal is improving your cardiovascular fitness, this ties like directly into that, and it ties directly into lowering your long-term health risk. I'd like to hear more about your experience. What was going on for you physically and mentally during the bike test, and especially in the later stages?
In the beginning, it felt okay, but once resistance increased, I could feel my legs burning, and it was just like my breathing was getting a lot heavier, a lot faster than I thought it would. It definitely kind of just showed me how like out of practice I am with doing anything related to cardio.
So the test highlighted exactly where you want to improve, like in terms of cardiovascular fitness, and it gave you a clear sense of where your starting point is.
Yeah, definitely. It made me realize how much room I have for improvement in that area.
Yeah, that's valuable information, right? Because improving aerobic fitness is one of the best ways to lower your long-term health risks, and it's that's important, obviously, considering your family history and your goals. Now that we've looked through everything, I'd like to shift to talking about where you want to go next. So, on a scale from 1 to 10, how important is improving your fitness right now?
I'd say around an 8.
Oh, 8, so like a top priority. Why would you say an 8 and not like a 3 or a 4?
Well, I want to have better energy and I don't want to feel like winded doing simple things like walking upstairs. And my family history, I've always worried that if I don't take action, I might have to deal with those sorts of issues sooner than I would have wanted to. And I just kind of want to get ahead of it or get on top of that situation.
Yeah, so for you, it's not just about the fitness, it's about taking control of your long-term health risks and feeling more capable in everyday movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, and how about next looking at like a confidence scale? Like 0 meaning no confidence and 10 meaning full confidence. How confident are you in your ability to start making like one small realistic change this week?
I think a 7.
Yeah, so that's a high level of confidence as well. Why would you say 7?
Well, I know I can start walking. It's simple, it doesn't require any equipment, and I can fit it in with work, and it just feels realistic to me.
Yeah, it absolutely does. What would a simple walking plan look like for you if you started this week?
I don't know, maybe like 20 to 25 minutes walking after work, maybe 3 days a week. I think I could probably stick to that quite easily.
You know, it seems completely achievable for you. And it also directly ties to improving your aerobic fitness and lowering your health risks, which are the two goals you identified. Just to wrap everything up, today we looked at your strength, flexibility, power, and aerobic fitness, and each measurement helped us understand where your starting point is and how to connect it to your goals. Um, of course, we also like had a looked at a next step moving forward for you, which could potentially be walking, and that would help improve your cardiorespiratory fitness and lower your long-term health risk. And of course, in the future, we'll continue to build on this fitness routine of yours. How does everything we talked about sound?
I feel like everything's a whole lot clearer now, or at least from my understanding point. I know what I need to do, and it feels a lot more manageable now.
I'm glad to hear that, Kyle. I really appreciate how open you've been throughout this entire conversation, and thanks for talking to me.